Hello and welcome. Hopefully, last week was a good week for you. Messages for this week. Stag. Is there anything else? Okay, I'll take it. Wow. Alright, so we have Fire Guardian on the bottom, and underneath of that we have Spring. See your seeds grow. What first came out was the stag, and me personally, I refer to this as the divine masculine, um, God, sort of. I guess. Well, I refer to it differently. I guess because I address, the feminine energies as the goddess, and then the masculine energies as the god. So that's how I see the stag. The stag and the eagle both communicate to me as a very divine masculine energy, leadership energy. Especially with the ivy leaves hanging underneath of there. This is they're bringing the word professional to me. So, and especially with igniting your passions. So not only focusing on your divine masculine this week, but also focusing on self leadership, and not just leading yourself, but leading your goals, your hopes, your dreams. Um, and winter came out with the stag, which is take care of your needs. So, um, you others look to you as a leader as well. And I think with you having to focus on the divine masculine, even though others look at you as a leader, you don't look at yourself as a leader. Um, I almost feel like this wolf should have come out in reverse, but it's coming out right side up because this is something that you're going to start focusing on. This is something that you should start focusing on, is looking at yourself as the leader that you are. Looking at yourself as the beautiful, majestic stag that you have grown into. And by doing this, this will lead you to ignite your passions. And from there, you're going to see your seeds grow into a beautiful forest. And the magic guardian is underneath of that. And dream and journey, the drum underneath of that. Trusting in higher forces. I mean, this is all the first step into this path that has been laid before you, is trusting yourself, leading yourself, seeing yourself as the leader that you are. And guardian angel, you are not alone. And direction guardian, choose your path, also came out with this. And you're not going to trust yourself in choosing a path if you don't view yourself as a leader. Like, remember in Balto when like he went out to go find the sled with the medicine on it, and the seagull guy was just like, a dog could not do this alone, but a wolf just might. You're not a dog with your tail between your legs. You're a wolf. Trust your instincts. Hi, Shelby. You can come on in. Come on. Okay. Messages for this week. Star Ancestors. So especially with that you're not alone card. I feel like asking for guidance from those who have already walked their own paths will help you find your own courage and help you see a non-distorted image of yourself. Any other messages? Okay, so we have star ancestors and star family. So with this whole you not being alone and choosing your path, these are the people who you would want to ask for guidance from during this time. These are the people who are going to help you focus and prioritize what you should be prioritizing and help you step by step through this journey. It looks like a very beautiful journey. Messages for this week. I've gotten that card before. I'm going to keep that on top of the deck. That's also very important. Alright, so this has to do with self-image. So the first one that came out was this one, and it's got a glare on it, I'm sorry. I really think that's how you see yourself right now. That's what you see in the mirror. That's not what other people see. That's not how other people talk about you. But that's what you see, and that's what you think. You feel as if you've done so much wrong in your life. You feel that every decision you've ever made was a wrong decision, which is not the case at all. I'm not saying all of them are good decisions, but you came away with lessons. You came away with experiences that you could apply in other decisions that you've made in your life after that. You're not this. You don't deserve this. And you're not this. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't have all of this coming up along your path, right? you wouldn't be this beautiful, majestic, matured stag. You wouldn't be this strong brute of a wolf leading the pack, right? People wouldn't look to you as a leader if you were any of these. So, self image, how you view yourself, not letting go of the past, not letting go of maybe who you thought that you were in the past, is definitely a big thing. And that's what's holding you back. And they can also help you with that as well. Messages for this week. Alright, so this one always reminded me of the triple moon goddess, so this is also keeping the divine feminine in mind while, I guess, rekindling your divine masculine. You want a comfortable balance of both. This is also just loving yourself, accepting yourself, not accepting how you see yourself now, but actually being willing to remove this illusion and looking at yourself for who and what you actually are. This, first of all, speaks to me as a labyrinth. So you're journeying through this maze of change, of letting go of things that you don't need anymore. And transforming yourself and what you want out of this life. You know, that star here, that's your power. That's who and what you want to be. And you have to transpire this circle to get here. It's going to allow you to see things that you need to let go of. And trauma, you know, it has layers sometimes, so you might see something, you know, from your past or remember something from your past and you're just like, well, I'm not that person anymore, you know, so I don't need to think about that. But then that thought leads to all these other things that also happened, and it adds up because you're just like, well, I'm not that person anymore, so I don't need this anymore. But are you actually letting go, or are you putting it in an area of yourself that to where it just can't surface as easily, you know? And it's funny that all this should come out, well, not really funny, but because the top of the deck for the Starseed one had an I'm sorry card on it. So maybe the first step in letting go of all that trauma is just apologizing to the other person, just making sure that they're okay, because especially with this, again, other people also look to you as a leader. So maybe it will give you the reinsurance to take that step, to take the step of leading yourself as well. Okay, so for 72, a very big word, transcendental escapism. If you have drawn the sigil, what is preventing your progression is that you are using things of a spiritual nature or your higher intellect in order to escape and avoid the temporal. You have lost sight of the bigger picture, which includes both physical and non-physical. You are spirit, but you are also body. You cannot die, but you will also most certainly die. To reject the physical and things related to the physical, you reject, deny, and disown part of yourself. In this situation, you are using the spiritual to negate the physical, and you are suffering and will suffer because of it. If you have drawn this sigil, you are in resistance to the physical and temporal, or potentially an aspect of it. The temporal world is a world of the purely physical. It is particles, body, color, shape, soma, physical health, the physical aspect of sex, money, house, place, things, and physical aspect of food, plants, people, and pets, possessions, and so on. It is the realm of the material. If you must read these words, or if you just read these words and felt yourself reject them, you just saw your resistance. For thousands of years, the standard practice that people have taken is to disidentify from the parts of themselves that are unacceptable and to identify with the parts that are. For example, a guru was a person who had decided to identify with only one part of himself or herself. He or she fed only that ego. For example, imagine a guru decides that the most acceptable part of himself, his concept of enlightened, is a person who is never angry, who instantly forgives, who has no worldly needs, who is in a state of pure positive focus. Anytime anger, a worldly need, or a negative thought rises within him, he will deny, reject, suppress, and disown that part. That is feeling that anger or need or negative thought. He will jump into the persona of the guru that he has created, and at first he will deny those feelings and lie to himself and others that the way the guru self feels is entirely how he feels. He will not honor the truth or reality of any part within him. He will do this until he literally loses awareness of any other part of him. He will mistake the guru part for all of who he is, to the exclusion of all other parts within him. This is his discipline. His ego is his concept of who an enlightened being is. He cannot admit to anything within him that is not that. It is the strongest attachment you can imagine. This is not a state of health because it is not a state of integration. And, the obsession card was also on top of this deck. So, I know it was choppy when I was reading that. That was a lot of reading, so I'm sorry. But I think this is definitely something you should focus on. That's definitely probably the biggest step in, moving into this new path that has been laid before us, before you. Ah, justice. That was on the bottom of the deck, too. I'm going to read the Four of Wands, but the other ones I'm not going to read. Ten of Pentacles on top, so there's a lot of energy here. Oh, Knave of Pentacles on the bottom, so Moon underneath that. Okay. So, confronting your illusions, using just not only your energy, but, energy from your guides, your ancestors as well, just to confront these illusions and get rid of them permanently. Not put them in a place where they can resurface eventually, but get rid of them permanently. So with the Six of Wands, what really came out for me is directing power and having that power. So there's a lot of energy here, not just from you, but from your guides, the people who look to you as a leader as well. Justice came out with that. And so this has been an ongoing issue, I think, for some of you. And I feel like you've been directing energy with this mindset, and you haven't even noticed it. I don't think, because like you see yourself as this, but I think you also don't want to accept that you see yourself as this. I don't know, that's just what like my intuition is picking up on for some of you. But if you take that Six of Wands and that Justice card, okay, that energy that's within you, within your guides, within the people who look to you as a leader, just all of that, and direct it with this mindset instead, you're going to get a whole lot further. You're going to accomplish a lot more. You're going to get more back in return for exerting that energy. Okay? I mean, just all of these. Shaolin Master underneath that. I mean, so you're exerting the energy, you just have the wrong mindset. You know what you want, you know where you want to be, but you don't think you deserve it. And that's why it's not coming to you, because if you think you don't deserve it, it's gonna, that energy that you're sending is going to be just as distorted as the image of yourself is that you have of yourself, if that makes any sense. All right, I'm gonna read the Four of Wands that came out. Romance, society, harmony, prosperity, peace, the fruit of labor. So fruit of labor. So, again, that energy flow. You have it, but your mindset isn't in the right place. You have to feel it in your heart and know it in your head. You are not this. You're this. Hopefully that helped. I hope you have a blessed week.